the station that stands for Kansas City. This is KCTV5 News at 10.
Now at 10, Kansas City in mourning after two heroes are killed fighting a large fire. We take you through the decades they shared together. In-depth coverage tonight as those close to the firefighters share memories and remember their legacies.
And they console each other, and then they get through it. It'll be a difficult month.
Plus, we uncover new concerns found at the building in the months leading up to the fire. Good evening, I'm Brad Stevens. Ellen McNamara is live in the field tonight. Joining her are KCTV5's Emily Rittman, who will show us how the Royals are supporting the fire department. Betsy Webster talks with some friends of the firefighters. And Josh Marshall uncovers new details about exactly what happened inside that building. But first, Ellen begins our in-depth coverage.
And Brad, crime scene tape just like this surrounds the collapsed building tonight, and that is to keep anyone away from the collapsed building and to keep them away from the dangerous rubble. Tonight, we have learned that the ATF is sending in a national response team to help investigate what exactly happened out here that resulted in the deaths of two firefighters. Those firefighters saved people right before they died, and they are heroes tonight, and many in this community recognize that. Throughout the evening and all throughout the day, people have stopped by the scene of the fire at Prospect and Independence to drop off bouquets of flowers to honor Larry Leggio and John Mesh. Today we learned Leggio was 43 years old and a 17-year department veteran. He survived by his wife and mother. Mesh was a 13-year veteran. He leaves behind a wife and 4 daughters. We've also learned the names of 2 other firefighters who were hurt on the scene. New information just in. Christopher Anderson and Dan Warner, both from Station 23, have been released from the hospital tonight. One more firefighter, we've learned, also broke a foot in the collapse. The fire department is making counselors available to its employees after last night's tragedy. Tonight, they issued a message of thanks to the community for the outpouring of support. Tonight, flags are flying at half-staff in Jackson County. Governor Jay Nixon ordered them down in honor of Leggio and Mesh. This video shows the firefighters' memorial near Broadway and 31st, and the flags, we're told, will remain down until the funerals are over, and those have yet to be scheduled. And we have every angle of this story covered tonight. KCTV5's Josh Marshall has been examining the history of the building that collapsed. He's been learning a lot more about that building and the owners of the building. He's live with that, as well as an update on the investigation. Josh?
Ellen, we just learned that the building is actually 95 years old, but it did pass an inspection in December of 2014. But get this, there was a fire in January of this year. We decided to dig deeper into those inspections and the building's owner.
Dispatch, this is command. Start all rescues this way.
Brick and mortar reduced to rubble Monday night. Where storefronts and apartments once stood, 2 Kansas City firefighters lost their lives, saving the lives of others.
The deceased firefighters are identified as 17-year veteran.
Fire Chief Paul Berardi struggled to keep his composure, naming the 2 who died in the collapse.
Major collapse on the west side, major collapse.
The one thing about last night is that I'm extremely proud of the professionalism of on-scene personnel as well as the response to the tragedy.
Through building permit records, KCTV5 tracked down the building's owner, Bo Tran. KCTV5 has left multiple messages with Tran, and we visited his home. He hasn't responded. We kept digging into city records. In June 2014, Tran was issued a notice of violation for working without a permit on a storage area behind his building. Tran was cited and fined. 6 months later, in December, a tenant reported an electrical issue to the city, but the tenant wouldn't let inspectors inside the apartment. Now, city fire investigators and ATF experts will sift through the rubble, searching for why the fire started and what caused the deadly collapse.
Nothing suspicious at this time, but they will go through it with a fine-tooth comb.
Now, the owner of the collapsed building here owns multiple properties spread across the metro. We looked into each one of those buildings. None of them have any pending court cases regarding the condition of the homes and office spaces. Live in Kansas City, Missouri, Josh Marshall, KCTV5 News.
Josh, thank you. The fire department is a true family. Not only do firefighters work long, odd shifts, but they also live together, and that makes it even more difficult to lose one of their own. KCTV5's Betsy Webster joins us live with that story now. Betsy?
Well, Ellen, we're here at Station 10 where one of those two firefighters worked, and you can see here that someone has stopped by to leave a single rose in front of the fire station sign in honor of the fallen. Those two men combined spent 30 years on the job with the KCFD, but they knew each other for far longer than that. The two men who died when this inferno caused a building wall to collapse on them were lifetime friends. They grew up together, not far from the place where they lost their lives, in Kansas City's Old Northeast.
They were like brothers.
Joe Cucci knew both men since they were kids.
Larry he's a legend here in the Northeast area for sure. And John also, two great individuals, a big loss for the Kansas City area.
Both men had firefighting in their blood. John Mesh's brother teaches at the Fire Academy, and Larry Leggio's late father was a firefighter. The 43-year-old knew early on it was what he wanted to do, too.
He always used to listen to the scanner when he was at home. His mom said he'd listen to the scanner. If there was a fire, him and his mom would get in the car and go to a fire.
Leggio worked at Station 17, loved his motorcycle, and leaves behind a wife and mother. Mesh worked at Station 10 and leaves behind a wife and 4 girls, ages 10 to 17. 2 men who grew up together, worked together, and died together, doing what they loved.
They were both good men. They were hard firefighters. We know today they'd still do the same job again if they had to. They would go in, that was their job, that's what they knew to do.
Now, besides flying flags at half-staff for the remainder of the week, members of City Council will honor those fallen firefighters by wearing symbols of their support and having a moment of silence before Thursday's regularly scheduled legislative session. People are also sending their condolences on social media, many of them using the hashtag #WeStandWithKCFD. Reporting live in Kansas City, Missouri, Betsy Webster, KCTV5 News.
Betsy, thank you. And so many in this Northeast neighborhood are coming together to honor those fallen firefighters. The people who owned the businesses in the building and lived in the apartments above returned to the scene today. They're trying to figure out when they can reopen or return to try to salvage their belongings. But the men who lost their lives are their first concern.
Devastated. My stuff was not worth. The firefighters died for us. You know, it really upsets me. Really upsets me.
Many of the apartment tenants and business owners say they plan to attend the funerals to pay their respects. So many of us have been thinking about the Royals right now and their big comeback win last night, bringing the series back here to KC. But the Royals are also pausing to remember the 2 fallen firefighters. In fact, they will do so during tomorrow night's game against the Astros as they try to win the ALDS. Many of the team's star players, in fact, have personal connections to first responders. KCTV5's Emily Rittman has that story. She's live from the K tonight. Emily?
Ellen, the Royals are offering tickets to the loved ones of those fallen firefighters so that they can see that tribute in person. The team members tell us that their thoughts and prayers are with those families.
7 of the World Series last year to Madison Bumgarner.
On any given game day, a Kansas City Royal can become a hero to their young fans. Eric Hosmer says true heroes too often pay the ultimate sacrifice.
When you're talking about real-life situations and houses burning down and people willing to sacrifice their lives, go in and save them, it just truly defines what true character is.
The news of 2 Kansas City firefighters' deaths hit very close to home for Hosmer. His father fought fires for 29 years.
My father being a firefighter for that long. You know what the families go through each and every night.
He and his teammates wore Kansas City Fire Department t-shirts Tuesday to honor those firefighters and their loved ones.
For everything that they've done for us, and not just in Kansas City, but throughout the our nation. They put their lives on the line for us, day in and day out.
I think we all woke up with heavy hearts today.
Kansas City manager Ned Yost started his news conference with no talk of wins, balls, or strikes. Instead, condolences.
First, I'd like to say that all of the thoughts and prayers from the Kansas City Royal organization are with the families of the 2 firefighters.
We're going to be behind them 100%.
And tomorrow, before Game 5, they are going to hold a tribute for those firefighters and their families, which will include a moment of silence. The local firefighters union did ask a local print shop, Cumpy's T-shirt shop, to make very special Royals KCFD hats that will be worn by the players and managers before tomorrow's game. The owner of that shop tells us that he knew the 2 men who lost their lives and wanted to do anything he could do to help. Reporting from the K, Emily Rittman, KCTV5 News.
Emily, thank you. So many want to help the families of those firefighters, and the city, in fact, is coming together to do exactly that. The union has set up a fund to help their loved ones. Mesh leaves behind, as we mentioned, a wife and 4 daughters. Leggio, a wife and mother. His father, who has since passed, was also a firefighter. We've put information on how you can help on our website at KCTV5.com. And tonight, a warning from the fire chief about how you donate. Tonight, Paul Berardi tweeted, "Some people are on the street collecting money in the name of Local 42. Those collections are not authorized by the union or the fire department." Now, one man who knows just how dangerous the job of a firefighter can be is Louis Scooter Martin. He was with the Kansas City Fire Department for more than 51 years. In fact, it's believed he's the longest-serving firefighter in Kansas City's history. Today, he sat down with me, and he talked about the loss of these 2 firefighters, 2 men he knew. It's a story you will see only on KCTV5. Firefighters are a close-knit family, and for 51 and a half years, Louis Martin, who goes by Scooter, served the Kansas City area. Were there times that you worried that you would not be coming home to your family?
You think about it, but you don't want it to happen. Small fires and normal runs, you don't. That's just a job. But when you're half a mile away and you see the flames up in the sky and the smoke, and it's it's going to be big. It crosses your mind. What am I running into? In a small display case below his old leather helmet with his name inside is a shiny gold axe with his patches engraved on it. They gave me that when I had 50 years on. The guys at 17th Station gave it to me. The gift from Fire Station 17 is the same station where Larry Leggio worked. Larry, he was a good firefighter, and he just, as far as I know, he always tried to do his best. Martin knew Larry's dad, who was also a longtime firefighter. When Martin heard the news late last night, he couldn't help but remember the fire back in 1988, an explosion along Highway 71 that killed 6 of his co-workers and friends. He attended every single funeral. A lot of them for, 8, 9 days, I guess. We just funeral after funeral. Condolences poured in from around the country, something that is happening today. Martin says he knew the risks, but like all firefighters or police officers, only focused on his job. Things happen so fast. I mean, you're concerned if you see a building on fire or a residence, whatever it may be. Your job is to put the fire out and make sure there's nobody there and get them out if they are. And Martin tells me that he will attend the funerals, and he will likely attend those funerals with other retired firefighters. Whenever the funeral plans are announced, we, of course, will let you know. And all throughout the evening, we are not going to be going anywhere. We will have a crew here at the scene, and you can look for the latest developments on this story and the investigation of the fire coming up on our morning show. We start at 4:30 a.m. For now, Brad, back to you.
Ellen, thank you. And there is much more news ahead. 5 presidential candidates went head-to-head tonight in Las Vegas. We have an early look at who the experts say came out on top tonight. And justice for a popular pet and therapy dog in the Johnson County community. Police say they have the man who shot Miko. Chris?
We've been enjoying a stretch of some beautiful autumn weather this week, but there's some big changes ahead of us. Powerful cold front to move through. Take a look at our rain chances and also how cold it's about to get. Your Storm Track 5 forecast is up in 5 minutes.
You're watching KCTV5 News at 10.
We have new information tonight about a burglary and shooting that seriously hurt a Johnson County therapy dog. Police have made an arrest in the shooting of Miko. His owners found him bleeding in their Overland Park home after he had been shot in the face. The house had also been ransacked. Police arrested a Missouri man. He's awaiting extradition back to Kansas tonight. Miko, by the way, is recovering at home. The ride home from school took a dangerous turn for a busload of Kansas City students today. Chopper 5 was over 31st and Norton where a school bus collided with a pickup truck. One student had minor injuries. And we just couldn't ask for a better day and night today for October weather.
It really is remarkable weather we're in this week, and it extends right into tomorrow, which, of course, is huge because that's the Royals game tomorrow. Final game of the ALDS. Well, right now outside, beautiful Kansas City Diagnostic Imaging Center's tower cam with a temperature right now that's in the 50s, 57 degrees with a light breeze after a high of 77. So the true character of the air that we're in right now is it's really dry. Once the sun sets, all that heat of the afternoon escapes into space and gives us a very cool evening. So classic autumn from that perspective. 48 Lawrence, 50s elsewhere to a few low 60s. And temperatures tonight, again, are going to be settling back into the 40s to low 50s. But it's the same blueprint. That dryers going to allow the temperatures to really warm up into the afternoon. So you'll start with a light jacket or sweatshirts. Good day to wear the Royals sweatshirt, kids heading out to school. But, you know, dress in layers because the afternoon, sunshine, and you see that big boost in the temperatures. We're going back up into the 70s. 72 Maryville, St. Joe about 74, 73 to Chillicothe. 75 Marshall, Lee, some of you are around 75. Lawrence are like 77 degrees. And take you to the south, Garnett, again, right around 80 degrees, 79. And then 77 into Clinton. And then tomorrow night, I made a slight adjustment to the forecast, just knocked that temperature down a little. First pitch to 66 and to 59 at 10 o'clock here. Light winds, clear skies, no rain certainly, and really no need for a heavy winter coat. Just a good old-fashioned sweatshirt and you'll be just fine. We head into Thursday's forecast. This is when the front will arrive, 40s to low 50s into the morning. We'll get a boost to near 80 in the afternoon, 70s to low 80s. And then the front drops through, some clouds with it. But I really just do not see much in the way of a rain chance. I think you have to go down towards Joplin, Springfield, Chanute. There could be a couple showers of sprinkles. But this looks like a dry frontal passage, followed by a big drop in those temperatures. So 75 to 78, 43 Friday morning, 63 into the afternoon. A little frost possible in spots Saturday morning, especially the northern half of the area. NASCAR fans, we are hitting a jackpot on Sunday. Partly sunny, 70 degrees. And then the next chance for showers and thunderstorms will be Tuesday of next week here. And I just want to take a moment, Brad, you know, given the circumstances with our firefighters, right, and the two families, the community has been rallying around together to support these families, and there's a fund that's set up. What I've decided to do in the spirit of our community and to help those firefighters is auction off a painting that I did just a little while back. This is a painting I put a lot of pride and joy into. It's an acrylic painting. And if you are interested in bidding on this painting, I will take all the money, all the proceeds will go right to that firefighter fund that's been set up to help those families out. The highest bid right now I have is at $385. If you're interested, post a bid on our station Facebook page or my Facebook page, or you can shoot me an email. I'll keep everyone up to date on what the bid is. And tomorrow night at 10 o'clock, I'll announce who the winner is. I'll make sure I ship the painting off to you. No cost to you on that. And again, all money will go to the fund that's been set up for those firefighters there. So every little bit helps. And, well, you know, they're in the true spirit of Kansas City. Right. You've seen the power of Kansas City in our community rallying around. And, again, tomorrow night, 10 o'clock,
let's get those bids up.
Word us out, yes. So 385 is where it stands right now, but I'd love to write a big check to that fund.
I know you would. I hope you do.
Yes.
That is a great gesture. Speaking of which, we need to get right out to my co-anchor, Ellen McNamara, with new details tonight. Ellen, what's going on?
Hey, Brad, this seems to be the fire that just won't stop. In the last couple of minutes, the fire basically just flared up. We had huge flames just over my left shoulder, and you can see some of those flames are again flaring up. Again, this is about, well, now more than 24 hours after this fire started that killed 2 of Kansas City's own. So you can see that the flames, they continue to fire up here. Crews are on the scene and they continue to try to battle those flames. But once again, this fire just will not go out. I'm not seeing a lot of folks panicked yet at this point, so that is the good news. They have it under control. However, this fire just does not seem to want to go out. We'll be right back after this.
Now, KCTV5 Sports with Michael Coleman.
Good evening. Welcome to sports. Royals and Astros, as we speak, are visualizing making that great play to have advanced to the ALCS. This is the winner take all.
Back up the middle. Off Correa on into center field. Kansas City has tied it in the 8th.
Another improbable October rally and win for the Royals. Today at batting practice, they were ready to move on for Game 5, but what a Game 4.
When I see the table coach, he's sending low can to home plate, I said, what happened? Oh, there wasn't the outfield, and I'm jumping to the field too, and I do the same. Come on, come on.
Eric Hosmer's 2-run home run in the 9th helped seal the 9-6 win.
You know, that was quite a comeback we made yesterday. Showed a lot of character as a team, and you know, I think as a group, we're you know, we never count ourselves out of the game. We always feel like we have a chance, and you know, it comes down to one game, so just got to give it our all.
Tomorrow, Royals face Hugh McHugh, who beat them in Game 1. Do they need a different approach when they see him tomorrow night?
We don't have to change our approach to nobody. You know, somebody who's going to be in the mouth.
Recently, 2 of the Royals lost a parent, Mike Moustakas and Chris Young. Young says Moose was the first to wrap his arms around him to comfort him. Young learned that his father died, and the next day pitched 5 hitless innings against the Indians in the Royals' win. He tells us his father would enjoy seeing him in the Royals uniform in the postseason.
Remind myself, he's watching, he's with me, and it's been tough, but I think it's been, you know, it's helped the healing a little bit for me, for my family, for my mom, for my sisters.
Has this been a diversion from that for now? You come out here and play with your guys, with your other family?
Well, absolutely. I mean, this is special. You know, I haven't been to the playoffs in 9 years, and to be part of it, with this group of guys, like I said, this is my baseball family, and we've put so much into the season and been through so much, and I've never been around a group of guys like this.
Thanks for sharing, Chris. A reminder, tomorrow, our Take the Crown special airing on our sister station, KSMO. Our first pitch is at 6:30. We'll hear from Johnny Cueto and other insiders about tomorrow's big game, guys.
All right, thank you. And because of breaking news, a deadly fire reignited, we were not able to bring you the latest on tonight's debate. You can see everything the candidates had to say on the stage at KCTV5.com, and we will be right back after this. Before we leave you tonight, from all of us here at KCTV5, we want to express our condolences to the Kansas City Fire Department and the family members of 2 firefighters killed in the line of duty, Larry Leggio and John Mesh. They will be missed by the department and the city. KCTV5 anchor Ellen McNamara is live at the scene tonight, and she finishes our in-depth coverage for the evening. Ellen?
Brad, Larry and John were 2 of our city's finest. They'd been with the department for more than a decade. They loved their jobs, and they were good at their jobs. Tonight, as this fire continues to burn, we want to leave you with memories of these 2 wonderful men, 2 heroes who died saving others.
It's difficult when you live with somebody for 24 hours a day, and you're laughing and joking 1 minute, and then something like this happens in the line of duty.
It's been bad for their loss. You know, it's terrible.
I know they're going through tough times right now, and like I said, we just want them to know that we have their backs.
These 2 brothers are gone. They're going to be missed. Everybody in the fire department loved them.